Hello friends, my name is Razamasood. Today we will discuss about a topic preventive action. Friend, let me tell you that this topic pertains to project management and this is a very important approach basically you can say. That's why I decided to make a very basic video about preventive action. Today we will discuss that what is preventive action and what does that mean in project management. Uh, Friend, let me tell you that this is a very important topic, and if you are going to give an exam of PMP, remember that you will must see a few questions related to preventive action. And also, if you are a professional project manager and going to implement a project, you must have the clear understanding of preventive action. So first of all, I would request to please subscribe to my channel and click on the bell option as well, so my new videos can reach to you. So let us start. Friend, just see this picture. Preventive action, just try to understand. Preventive action, friend, is a proactive action. Whenever you see some risk in the project, so preventive action means the proactive thinking. It's totally different approach as compared to reactive approach. That means, for example, try to understand if something is going to happen, if there is some uncertainty in the project, and you do the response planning prior to the project, prior to the issue occurred. So this is called the proactive thinking. Okay, doing the response planning at a earlier stage before the issue occurred, you do the proactive thinking, or you do the response planning. The reactive approach is totally different as compared to preventive or proactive thinking. Why? Because reactive approach means that when the issue occurred, after that you do the response. So this is called the reactive approach. So if we talk about preventive action, these are actions taken when the project is likely to trend away from the scope, schedule, cost or quality planned to ensure the project performance is aligned to the baselines. Preventive actions are proactive actions. These are actions taken to prevent issues, problems from occurring in future. Are you getting my point? Like proactive thinking, preventive actions in terms of project management, or as per the definition of PMI, or these are the actions which are proactive, and whenever we are forcing, like issues are not occurred yet, we are forcing the risk, and we do the response action accordingly, so that we can avoid the action in so that we can avoid the future, so that we can avoid the issue in future. These are called the preventive action. If you just see the preventive action, the preventive action mean the action before an issue occurred. We do the response planning, we do the proactive thinking, and do the response planning before the issue occurred. This is called the preventive action. This is called the proactive thinking. So just remember that whenever we talk about preventive action, just imagine, just think in your mind that it is a proactive thinking. Proactive thinking means that you see that there is a risk in a project, there is this risk can become an issue in future, so you do the response planning ahead, prior, like before the issue occur, you take the action in proactively, in priorly. So this is called the concept of preventive action in project management. And there is very important point to be noted, that whenever, if you are going to give an exam of PMP, please remember that you will definitely see few questions related to preventive action. You will see few questions based on a scenario, in which complete scenario will be given to you, and you will be asked to give an answer that what will be the preventive action. Preventive action, remember the preventive action based on proactive thinking, It is totally different as compared to reactive approach. And preventive actions are proactive actions. These are actions taken to prevent issues/problems from occurring in future. Okay, now let me give you a very simple example of preventive action. For example, let's assume that you are implementing an e-commerce solution, a software solution for a company, and your technical lead is a very good person, very senior person. He knows each and everything from the project, and you recognize that after 2 months he will be resigning. This came to your knowledge, this thing you realize. So you know that after 2 months he will resign. So what is the preventive action here? What you can do here? You can do that. You can take a backup. You can align a resource with him as a backup, and so that he can transfer his knowledge to the other resource. Please remember one thing, that if you can't take this action, what will happen, that when the senior resource will resign, if there is no know-how transfer between the resources, so there will be a great uh, gap of knowledge will arise, and it will result as a delay, it will result as issues in the project, because no one knows that what he has the knowledge of, say, the senior person, but he has the knowledge. So the issue will arise, and the this is very important, that if you already know 2 months ahead, 2 months before, that this senior resource will be resigning, so this is very important to make a resource backup of that senior resource, and try to and instruct them to that senior resource will deliver the knowledge, will deliver the know-how to the of project to other resource. This is very important, so that when the senior resource will resign, you have a backup resource who can take the project ahead. This is called the proactive thinking. What is the difference here? Try to understand why it is a proactive thinking. Try to understand. Right now the senior resource has not resigned yet, but as a project manager you recognize that he will be resigning. So as a proactive approach, you make a project resource backup of that senior resource. So whenever he will resign, you have a backup resource, and there will be no issue in the project. But if we talk about the reactive approach is that the months passed, and after 2 months the senior resource resigned, and at that level when he resigned, there is no backup of that resource of senior level, and who can take the project ahead, and it will become a very big issue. And then you hire a resource. After hiring, you have to deliver the knowledge of a project to that resource, etc., or at least 1 or 2 months, at least 2 months are required for all these process, and it will badly impact your project. So this is the reactive approach. And the proactive approach is that when you already know 2 months before that this resource will be resigning, so as a backup you produce a reserve, as a resource backup of that senior level resource. So this is called the example of preventive action. Similarly, let me give you another example of preventive action. For example, you are implementing a project, and you have to bring few hardware from outside the country. Let's assume that for few hardware, some hardware has to be reached from outside the country. When you are seeking the project timelines, you realize that if these resources, hardware resources, does not reach at least 1 week before, you will not be able to meet the deadlines of the deliverable. So you talk with the vendor and push them to send the hardware resources at least 1 week before, so that it is very important, so that you can reach the timelines or deadlines of the deliverable or the project. So this is called the proactive thinking. Once if you already push the vendor to provide the hardware 1 week before, so you can meet the timeline. Because if the hardware reached late, or so in that case it will become an issue and you cannot meet the deadlines of a project. So remember, friend, one thing that preventive action means proactive thinking, and before any issue occur, before any problem occur, you do the response planning, you do the response action, so that you can avoid the issue. So it is the proactive thinking. Always remember, whenever we talk about preventive action, remember preventive action. Pre means ahead, before. So whenever we talk about preventive action, it means the proactive thinking. Before an issue occur, you will try to resolve that issue. Before an issue occur, you do the response planning. So preventive action means proactive thinking, and do the response planning, response action before an issue occur. So friend, I hope you like this video. If you like, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and thanks a lot for your time, and that's all from my side. Thank you.